Hello! It's Monday. It's a Monday, Easter Monday, in fact. But more importantly, Monday means handstands for all of you lovely Circus Hub community folk out there. So hello, my name's Aidin. Slightly different style to Laura's teaching handstands, but had a look. I quite like some of her drills actually. It's quite good. So, as a matter of fact, let's get started. So if you guys managed to miss the initial title screen, not sure how you did that, but we're just going to go over some things that you're going to need for this class real quick. You need some space. Oh, you definitely need some space. And you're going to want your wall as well. Good old friend with that wall. Best friend for handstands. A pair of socks, optionally. It makes one of the drills we're going to do a little bit easier. You're going to want a chair, at least one, maybe two, depending on where you're at for one of the drills later on. One's fine. You're going to want, I've got some handstand blocks with me. But if you don't have some of those, just some books. It's just something to give us a little bit of extra height off the ground. Doesn't need to be anything too fancy. A Theraband or a stick or a scarf or a broom or any sort of thing that you can hold that's going to be at least shoulder width apart. That would be marvellous. And as always, some cushions or some pillows in case you worry about falling over, because right now of all times would really suck to get injured, wouldn't it? So let's not do that. A mattress or a small squishy family member, up to you. And so just straight off the bat, I would also like to let you guys know this handstand lesson is a little bit more advanced than some of the more general and more introductory lessons Laura and I have done. This is going to be a little bit more focused on some tuck handstands. So if you're not super comfortable being upside down your handstand or doing a handstand on the wall for 20-30 seconds at least, that's okay. You can still follow along, have a go. But I would recommend when we get to some of the drills on the wall would be to go back and just do your regular handstand on the wall or practice your regular kick-ups. Any of that would be fine and would be my preference for you to do. That said, you're also welcome to try the other ones. I would just be cautious. So we'll go over a quick class plan, what the plan is for me to show you guys today. As always, we've got a wonderful warm-up. Get a bit of cardio, get a bit of blood pumping, get everything nice and working. That's what we're after. Do our shoulder and our wrist warm-up as well. Those are very important. We've got some alignment drills, very much a similar set as to what I did with you guys last time. Slightly different to Laura's style, but that's okay. Do both. Of course, do both. And in that, we're going to do some of our regular handstand work, our kick-ups and our wall handstands. We're going to do some work on tuck handstands. Mostly as a broadly introductory style way to do it, but there will be a couple of things for if you're more comfortable in your tuck handstand to have a go at. We'll do a bit of conditioning because we should always do some conditioning. Conditioning's great. Learn to love it. And then we'll do a bit of a cool down and a stretch. Yeah, give you some time to digest all that chocolate you've had over the last couple of weeks. Sorry, days. This lockdown's doing funny things to me. So, with that all in mind, I feel like we should just start off with some star jumps. Just 45 seconds, not much. I've got a fancy timer here, which is a phone, not that fancy. But make sure you've got space. You're not gonna like hit the roof, hit any lights, drop your phone off the windowsill. Just 45 seconds, regular old star jumps, starting about now. You can't see my face when I'm jumping, but that's okay. So with this, you can focus on your core starting to activate as well, so you're not sort of flopping in and around, falling back. Your torso is one solid plank, and your arms and legs are the wobbly bits. I can't see the timer. There we go. Excellent. Remember to keep breathing in this. It'll make the whole lesson a lot easier. Can't see it. Cool. We're not going to stop moving. I'm just going to adjust this so you can see me a little bit better. And we're just going to go into our little washing machines. Start to get a twist through the body, moving our arms around. Make sure you're not going to hit any wall or any light or anything like that, because that would suck. And you can start sort of twisting up and down as you go. Really start to get your hips and your legs into it as well. So up and down. This is eventually going to turn into some arm circles. So our first arm is going to come across our body. It's going to come up behind you and then down behind your body. I'm going to take a step forward before I end up hitting the wall again. So it comes down and across behind you. Your arm's going to stay straight and you're focusing on that motion through your shoulder. So it's like this weird folded kind of figure of 8. And then we can go with the other arm. So down in front of your face, down behind you. Back to the first arm, but we're going to be going the other way. So we're coming up in front of our face, up behind us. So up and up. Nice straight arm. Other arm, so up and up. So that reverse figure of 8, nice and easy. And from here we're going to try and do both at the same time to get your brain starting to work. So I start off with one, and then as that comes around, I go with the other. You kind of like there's a giant scissor windmill thing. If you need to go back and make sure you can go through it slower, that's okay too. If you want to try and go a little bit faster, that is also okay. And I'm going to try and go the other way. How did I do this? I go up and back. Hold up, my brain is having a moment. Up and back, so up and back. Oh, it's too much chocolate, I tell you. There we go. Some weird kind of backstroke. Once it clicks in the brain, it's pretty easy as long as you stop overthinking it. As soon as you start overthinking it, it kind of decides to stop working. I'm going to, a little bit of shake, I'm going to go back to a little bit of cardio. I'm going to do 45 seconds of high knees to chest. I'm just going to get that time going. Starting now. So hit your hands, hit your hands. Up and down, breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. Think about switching all this on. This is what's going to lift your legs. Come on folks, another 30 seconds, that's all, it's nothing. You've done this before. "15 more seconds to go, folks. High knees, high knees. Get that core fired up. Make that blood pump. And a little bit of a jump. Last little bit we're going to do, we're going to have our legs slightly wider than hip width, come down to a little like knee to, and squat and pull up with our arms, twist and come down. Pull up and come down. We're going for 20. Except I've already lost count. So that's probably like 10. Another 10 from here, I reckon. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. We're going to go into some shoulder blade push-ups. Get our shoulders really nice and working. We'll just stop that timer right there. So in a plank or on your knees if you have to, sinking our shoulder blades together and away. Try to keep them away from you. So we're not doing them up here. Trying to do them nice and far and long. So just 10. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to push into our downward dog and do 10 here as well. So it's sliding just up and down our back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So now I want to work into a little bit of our wrists. Grab some water if you would like. About now, it's pretty good. Better to have your water now, rather than right before you go upside down. That's not usually a recipe for the best time in the world, in my opinion. So to get our wrists going, together, place, just a little bit of a roll. Take it as slow as you want, take it as fast as you want, wherever you're feeling it, to be honest. But remember to go the other way as well. Don't just train one way, it's not what we're about. Go into your roller coasters, and really focus on that bend and that move through. So it's not just the wrist, it's the fingers as well. And of course the other way. Wind that roller coaster back up. What we're doing for time? We're doing pretty good for time. Look at that. Doing pretty good. A little bit of a shake, a little bit of a shake. So the next one we're going to do is, our arms are going to be straight out in front of us. We're going to bend down, and it's not a bend from our fingers. Our fingers aren't curling in, they're staying here. We're going to bend up. I'm just going to go for 10. So that's 1, 2, arms staying straight, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, can't count, 9, 10. So now we're going to do the same. We're just going to have our fingers forward, just going to go up and down, like you're shaking someone's hand in a really weird way, just from the wrist. Don't shake people's hands like that, they'll think you're weird. Just shake them normally. But for this warm-up, we're going to do the weird shaky hand. So we're going down and up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, my wrists are really clicky today. And then we're going to go through our regular wrist warm-ups. So coming on down to the ground with me there, folks. We're going to stack the shoulders above the wrists, as we normally do. And if you need more, you can move your knees back. If you need less, you can move your knees forward. But don't move your shoulders. It gets really easy if you're out here, but you're not actually working them in the range we need them to. Same as leaning too far over. So you're just making sure everything is stacked nice and straight. We're just going to be pushing just the palms of our hands off for 10, 9, 8, get your arms straight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Next set I'm going to do facing this way so you guys can see a little bit better. And similar to the last one, last lesson I did, it's really common for people to try and flare outwards when it's happened. So that's not what we're going to do. You're going to make sure your shoulder is directly above your wrist, as before. And we're just pulling our thumb off, and it's a little movement. It's not huge, and it's not with the elbows. It's just thumb coming up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Same again, but this time we're going to lift the pinky side of our hand up. To make that happen, I'm really driving down into the first knuckle on my first finger. So again, make sure your shoulders are stacked, do a quick form check, and then we're going to go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then 10 all the way up to fingers. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bring your wrists in together and spread your knees a little bit if you want more base of support. I'm just going to go for a couple of little rocks around. Rock around town. As long as you're more than 2 meters away from everyone else, that's pretty good. I'm going to go the other way, of course. Rolling around. Really feeling where the pressure goes into each part of your hand. Start bringing that awareness through there. I'm just going for a little bit of walk. So your hands might go upside down, they might go back in, they might roll around, going wherever they feel like they need to go. So just walking in and around. And last one is my favourite, like, little fish dance move thing. So I'm going to lie on the ground. I'm going to have my palm facing up with my elbow above it, putting a little bit of pressure. I'm just going to slowly roll it around. You can do the other hand as well. And if you want to get really fancy, you do both hands at the same time. Guaranteed dance-off winner move this. If you just drop out, bust it out on the floor, you will earn so much respect. Mostly from me, but I'm sure other people would as well. And then we're going to be going into our alignment drills. No, I lied. We're going to do a little bit of core work for the abs first. All that's going to do is we're just going to do a set of 10 dish rocks. And in between each dish rock, we're going either for a V snap or a V tuck. It's up to you. You can choose. So for our dish rock, we'll be lying. I'm just going to do something sneaky like that. Just a little bit more room for me for this. So I lie down, make my dish shape. So I'm pulling my hips into my bottom ribs, pulling my belly button down into the ground, lifting my legs straight and with pointed toes. My arms over my head. I'm going to tilt into a side dish. I'm going to roll onto my back again. Then I'm going to go for a V snap or a V tuck. Up to you. Then we're going to roll back, and that's 1. And then we go for a V snap again. That's 2. Control for this. You don't want to flop through any of this. All controlled. For 3. 4. Pointed toes. 5. 6. 7. 8. That's 9. And that's your 10. Feeling warm, feeling fired up, feeling ready to go for our handstands? Yes? No? I'm just going to turn that around, say yes anyway. And we're going to go into our alignment drills. So for those of you who are here with me, not last week, but the week before, we're going to do the same set of stuff. So really good for waking your body to get into that shape, being aware of all the little muscles that need to fire for this. For those of you who haven't done that, it's fine. I'm going to take you through it anyway. So you're going to need your wall, or if you have a friend, you can borrow their ankles real quick. That's good. Having a person is preferable. They can tell you when you stop pushing away with your shoulders, because when you're in your handstand, you never want to stop pushing away, because your head's the next thing, right? So it's always pushing away. If you don't have a friend, however, you'll lie down, hands on the wall, and I'm trying to get them as low on the wall as I can. And as I do, I'm trying to pull my armpit up and drive my elbow down. So I'm really trying to open that shoulder. So it's not floating super high up. It wants to be nice and in line with my body. I'm going to make that nice dish position. I've gone very Sean Connery. Dish position that we just did for our dish roll. So I'm pulling in. It's like someone's put, if you'll pardon the metaphor, someone's stuck like the end of a giant staple to the base of my ribs and my hips, and it's just like pulled it in. So I'm forcing my lower back into the ground, pulling my ribs in, pulling my stomach in to get my back flat, so my hand can't go in. Whereas if I relax, I've got that natural curve that my hand can go through, and we don't want that for our handstand. So always that pull in. My butt stays squeezed, my hips stay tucked under, my toes are pointed, of course, my legs stay straight. Hands against the wall, you're going to push away. We're just going to hold this position for 10 seconds. That's all. So get your abs in order, make sure your ribs are closed, toes pointed, and we're holding for 10, 9, remember to push away, 7, 8, now it's 7, 6, 5, 4, keep breathing, 3, 2, and 1. The next one we're going to do is basically the same shape. We're keeping everything from our hips up, stays exactly the same. None of that wants to move at all. What we are going to do is we're going to keep our feet together and we're going to draw them up. Our feet are going to stay on the ground. We don't want to be lifting up. That's going to naturally roll you into you on the ground. I want this to be an active work. This pulls in. So your feet stay on the ground, that's going to slide in and out. Oh, just make sure the computer doesn't die. We're good, folks, we're good. We are so good. So, setting yourself up, and I want you to think about your hips not rolling in any more than they already are, but as your legs come out, your hips don't roll out with them. Your hips stay tucked in, and your butt has to squeeze to get your legs out. So you keep everything nice and straight. I'm going to go for 10 of those. Still pushing against the wall, keeping our abs tucked in, our core is working. So that's going to be 1. There's 2. 3. You try not to have weight in your legs, that's going to make it harder. 4. Halfway, folks. Double check, make sure your back's still on the ground. Make sure you're still pushing the wall away. Make sure your butt's squeezing as you come down. 3 more. That's 1 of them. That's 2 of them. Last one. Last set we're going to do is our set of leg lifts. And if you want to make it easier, you're going to start closer to 90. If you want to make it harder, you start close to the ground. So again, from our hips up, none of our body position changes. Everything's still squeezing, pulling our back into the ground, hips stay tucked under, butt stays squeezed, and our legs are just going to go up and down. And that's it. Just 10. And it's not a full leg, I'm not going for the ground all the way up. If I'm standing here, I'm only going maybe 10, 15 degrees. Not that much at all. But the trick is to make sure it's just coming from your hips, as opposed to letting your pelvis roll in and out and making your core do that lift. Everything wants to stay from here up locked. It's just your legs and your butt working. Just 10, only 10. Always pushing away from the wall. And go. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure your core's engaged. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Congratulations! You have survived my beautiful alignment drills, which I got from another handstand coach called Alex Mizzen. A little bit of water if you want, bearing in mind we're about to go upside down. That was not the smartest plan of me. But we're just going to go for our regular 10 handstands, 10-second handstands on the wall. And that's just going to be 3 sets of those. Return. Oh, look at that. The miracle of my beautiful camera positioning. Okay, so against your wall, just lift this up so you can actually see what's going to be going on. If you've got space, you can cartwheel up, you can just walk up to the wall, but I want your face looking into the wall. I don't want you to kick up facing away from the wall. You're going to get your hands in as close to the wall as you can. Think about that body line shape. So all of this is pulled in, this is squeezing, your butt's squeezed, you're pointing your toes, and you're trying to open those shoulders so they're staying in line with your body as opposed to trying to be in front of you. Just 3 sets of 10 seconds, that's all. This is pretty good. If you can aim for doing this every day or every second day, I would love it. And I would love for you guys to send me some videos on how your handstand progress is going. That'd be really cool, because I can't see you right now. But I want to see what you guys are up to, where you're at. It's really, really cool. So, 3 sets of 10 seconds on the wall, like so. So, up onto the wall, walk your hands in, get your body working, and we're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming down, nice and controlled. So the next set we're going to do is I want you guys to focus on opening your shoulders up. So you're going to try and drive your armpit into the wall. Still keeping your ribs off and away. You won't want to be on the wall at all, but you're trying to get your armpit in there. It wants to touch it. And get some cushions out if you're worried you're going to fall into this. After that, I've got one little challenge for those of you who are starting to feel like you're holding your handstand without the wall. But this one is focused on our arms. Are you ready? Of course we are. You are so ready. Let's go. Next set. Walk in, pushing up, and we're going to go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Make sure you don't kick the windowsill on the way down. So that wasn't too bad. Really focus on those arms open, which is good. They want to be nice and open. It's really common to be strong in this kind of range instead of this kind of range, and that's what we need. So the last one we're going to do, and this is if you guys are starting to feel like your handstand is holding pretty well anyway, is I want you to flex your feet, which is heresy, I know. But the idea for that is you're going to get your body, because when you're doing your handstand on the wall, you're on a slight lean in. If this is the wall, no matter how close I get, I'm always on a slight lean in. If I flex my feet, it pushes my body that little bit straighter. So you can try that if you want. You might feel yourself float away from a little bit. I don't want you to necessarily try and do a full float hold away, but I do want you to just bounce a little bit further off. Again, grab cushions, a mattress, a squishy family member, whatever, you do you. But I've got our last set of 10 seconds ready to go. And up we go. Flexed feet if you want, pointed feet if you want, up to you. I'm going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Congratulations! That is the first set of handstand drills we're doing. We've got our kick-ups to do. We're going to be doing 5 on each leg. And again, if you weren't here for the last time I was doing this, the goal is you're going to start nice and straight. So I'm starting my legs together, my hips are already tucked under, my abs are squeezed, my arms are up and pushing away. One leg is going to step forward and bend, my back leg is going to stay straight. And I'm going to reach forward with my hands, as far forward as I can. Notice that I don't want to reach down by my legs, because if I do that, I've already broken that line. And I don't do a handstand like this. I do a handstand like this. Yeah? So you're going to reach far forward. Your back leg is going to kick up. It's driving up. It's helping lift you. And your front is going to push. You're going to get to your handstand. Stay there for half a second, a second. You don't have to hold it. This is a float we're looking for. And we're going to come back down on the same leg we push up. So we don't prematurely switch and drag ourselves down. Because we're here to lift ourselves up. Yeah? Be supportive. Be kind to yourself. So 5 on each leg. That's all we're going for. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, last one, and that's 5. Now, at this point, if you're like me and you realize you've just done your good leg first, my suggestion is to do your good leg last. And one day I'll even follow my own advice. Because then you feel good and you finish on a good note. But we do have to do 5 kick-ups on our other leg now. And for this one, it's really hard. Now, really want you to focus on your other leg. That's going to be driving up. Your heel helps lift you. So that leg needs to stay straight. 5 on our other leg. Let's go. That's 1. That's 2. Not as nice. Too much. That's 3. This is where you train your bad side, folks. That's 4. And that's 5. Congratulations. Grab some water, and we're about to move into the tuck section of how this handstand is going to play out. Okay, so if you're not comfortable with being outside on the wall or feeling like it's holding, or your kick-ups are not feeling that solid, you don't have to be holding your handstand. that's okay. You can work on tucks without needing to hold your handstand. But if you don't feel like you're there, you're probably not there. And I would recommend going and doing some more against the wall, or doing some kick-ups. Up to you. You can follow along and do some of these drills. They're all going to be good for you. But be aware that some of them you might be more likely to fall out of. So unless you've got that strength to hold it, do some more on the wall. That said, we're going to go back to our friend the wall. Grab some water if you want. We're going to go for what I mean when I say a tuck, and what we're going to do for it. So, for those of you who are not familiar with Theraband, a tuck is where your knees are brought into your chest. And notice that I'm not sagging around, and I'm not necessarily pulled all the way in. Because you see what that does to my back? My back needs to still stay nice and straight like it would for a handstand. And my knees are going to pull into my chest. That's it. What we're trying to avoid is this kind of a shape. Because my knees are super far away from my chest and my heels are in my butt. And if I try and open it up, the temptation is to drive my feet behind me as opposed to up. So the drill we're going to do that to start with is we're going to go back to our favourite handstand shape on the wall. So lying on the ground, setting everything the same way we did before. So ribs and hips are all pulled in, legs are squeezed, toes are pointed. You push away from the wall. And what I want you guys to think of this is, yes, knees to chest, back stays flat on the ground, but also when you think about your shin staying parallel to the ceiling. And we're just going to go for 5 slow lifts in and out. So lifting in and out for 1. Keeping your ribs in, keeping your abs working for 2. You know, keep breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth for 3. That's 4. Last one, folks. Stay parallel. And that's 5. So that's the beginning idea of what we want for your tucks, right? And the reason you want to stay parallel is because then that eliminates that sort of breaking line as you move in and out. Everything wants to stay as close to your center line of your handstand as you can, so that's why your shin's going to try and stay parallel. But of course, when you're in your handstand, they're not parallel to the roof, they're perpendicular to the floor, rather. And so the next drill I have for us, it's a little bit harder, which is always fun, and you might want to grab your socks for this. I am going to, because it makes it a little bit easier. Bonus points for odd socks, by the way. I have it on very good authority that odd socks make handstands better, if you believe that. And when I say like good authority, it's the fact I don't really own a pair of socks that isn't odd. Make of that what you will. So the reason we want our socks on is because when we're doing that same drill, we're just going to be doing it up against the wall, yeah? Make sure the computer doesn't die. Excellent. So we're going to be not as close in on the wall as we were again normally. The way we're going to measure that, if I just go up so we can... Oh, look at that. Good. Okay. So I'm going to sit with my back against the wall, nice and flat, legs out in front. And I want to have the lower back portion of me against the wall as well, because that's going to ensure my body is nice and straight. From here I do that same slow pull to wherever I go before my lower back starts peeling off. And I don't have the best compression in the world, so it's not very far. Some of you will probably get a lot further. And that's good, because that'll make your tuck handstand easier in the long run. Find where your hand's going to go, so mark where your ankles are. That's where the knuckles across your hands are going to go on there. You're going to keep your shins parallel to the wall, slide down, slide back up. And this is why we have socks. Your feet are a little bit more grippy. So socks just makes the sliding a little bit easier to do. So you're going to walk up into the wall as you need. Make sure your hands are at the right place. Make sure your hips are stacked over your shoulders, which are stacked over your wrists. And we're going to slide down for 1. Down for 2. For 3. That's 4. Last one. And that's 5. So that's your first 5. Before we do our second set, I just want to talk about this exercise a little bit more in depth as well, now that you've got an idea of what it entails. You're trying to, as you slide down, if you can keep your knees as close to the wall as you can as well, that's going to ensure your legs are staying as parallel to the wall as you can. And resist the urge to stick your booty out. Your butt wants to stay in exactly that same line. It's understandable that you are going to have your legs moving there, so you are going to have more weight moving the other way. And this is where I've seen there's different schools of thought on this. I'm okay with your shoulders closing slightly to compensate with that way. I'm okay with your butt popping out a little bit to compensate with that. But I don't want it to go too far. You're still chasing that perfect straight line the whole time, yeah? So still reaching away, still opening your shoulders, still trying to hit that button line. That's why we've got the wall. So have a quick rest, shake your hands off, because we're going to do it again for another 5. Why not? No, seriously, why not? We can do it again. Let's go. So remember where your line was for the wall. Walk your way up into it. Seat your hips, seat your shoulders, squeeze your abs, and we're going to go for 1. We're going to go for 2. We're going for 3, 4, and 5. Alrighty, grab some water after that. That is more than okay. And that's the initial opening to what we're going to be chasing for our final tuck position. Okay. Following that, we're going to be looking at how you're going to get into your tuck, other than just going to your full handstand pulling down in. Just want to adjust the camera angle for that. Alright. So for what we're doing for this, I'm going to go this way, so if I fall, it's okay. You can lay out some cushions and stuff in front of you if you're worried about falling over for this one. Some people are quite a lot. I wouldn't do this close to a wall. If you fall, it's going to be because your shoulders have collapsed. That's to be driving your head to the wall instead. So I would much rather set out a mattress or some cushions or a pillow or whatever, do that. But what we're going to do to start with, this is chasing for your final tuck position. So you're going to sit, you can have either your toes tucked under or pointed toes. I prefer pointed toes, it gives you a little bit more push and it helps you find that straight line a bit easier. But some people don't necessarily have the ankle flexibility yet to do that. But train it. This set of flexibility is really, really useful to have, and mine isn't even that great. You're going to have your hands ideally as close to your knees as you can, so you can start with your shoulders already pretty stacked. If I start quite a way out here, you'd see if as I push up, I have to move forward and then up. I want to stay as stacked as I can. So I'm not necessarily starting back here, but you see how my shoulders are now out of line. If I come over, and I'm already pushing down, so I'm pushing up through here, pushing out of my shoulders. All we're going to do is just going to keep our feet on the ground, just going to push up, try and get our hips above our shoulders 5 times. So we're going to start here, knuckles pushing to the ground, we're going to push up for 1, for 2, for 3, 4, and 5. That's the beginning push we're chasing for our tuck. And what's really important to note is you pushing always to straight legs. Your legs pushing to straight is what's giving you that lift up, not the tuck in. The tuck in doesn't do anything. So we're trying to push to straight legs. So we're going to do that again, but this time I'm going to add a little bit more power and a bit more jump into it. The thing I want you to think about here is your shoulders staying strong, so they open, they don't close. As soon as they close, you go forward. You want to go up. So shoulders stay open. You're trying to get your hips up above. It's that real focus of trying to roll up. We're not going to aim to stay anywhere. It's not even a float. It's just up, down. Little, you might come this far off the ground. There's one. But straight legs, yeah? So starting as we do, we're going to come up for 1. I'm going to scooch a little bit forward. 2. So set your shoulders starting. Don't get into the habit of starting to rock into it from here. Set and go for 3, 4, and 5. Good fundamental drill. That's your push to straight legs. Because when we do it, the last set now is we're going to try and go for the tuck. And when the tuck happens is once everything else is stacked. If you go too early, it's going to pull you back because you're cutting your push short. So as you go up, it's really focused on that push and then it's a close. So you're trying to get your hips stacked. If your hips are stacked above your shoulders, which are stacked above your wrists, you can do whatever you want with your legs. You're balanced, it's fine. If you try and do it any other way, you're starting to use strength rather than that bone stacking, and everything becomes much harder. So for the next one, it's that same push, and at the top, you're going to bring your knees into your chest and bend your legs. It's not heels to your butt. You don't want heels to your butt. You want knees to chest. Sound good? Because we're just going to do 5. That's all. Just 5. That's it. Make sure you've got a mattress or something if you want. And we're going to go for 1. Doesn't have to stay there. We're just testing it, right? It's 2. That's 3. It's 4. Wasn't great. I didn't go to straight on that one. That's 5. That last one felt really good because I stayed straight for longer and pulled myself up. And that's what we're looking for. Out of all of it, that's what we're chasing. That's a set of really, really nice tuck drills to be working with. Holding for time, we're doing okay. Grab some water, because we're about to move to a little bit more of a conditioning focus. And first thing we're going to do is similar drill that Laura did with you guys last week. I think this is really, really cool. I'm going to take my socks off though, because my feet are getting sweaty. This room's really warm. And you are going to grab your good friend a chair. Of course you want your chair. The chair is good. The chair is great. This is what we like. We're going to be in our pike handstand. So up here, legs come down onto the chair. And if you need a bit more height, that is fine. All we're going to go is we're going to be lifting one leg up and down. Doing 5 each leg. You're really focusing on trying to keep your hips stacked above your shoulders. And your leg only has to come as far up as your flexibility allows. If you're on a lower surface, and as such you can't get your leg all the way straight, that's okay. You can make the surface higher if you need to, or you can just go, cool, that's it, come on down. Whatever you want to do is up to you. But we're doing 5 each leg. I'm going to twist this so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to come on down, make sure my hands are placed, set up into my pike. One leg's going to come up and down. For the other leg, that's 2. That's 3. We're over halfway, folks. You're doing well. It's going to be 4. Last one. So that's our first set. We're going to be doing them again, but we're also going to be doing a couple other exercises as we go. So that's focusing on building awareness of our legs as we move and keeping that stacker straight. The next one is where you want your handstand blocks or your books. You can do it flat on the ground, but some people aren't quite there yet. I'm using blocks because one of my wrists is a little bit sore. And this is going to be an L-sit hold. This is focusing on building that shoulder strength and that wrist strength to help hold you up. We're just going to go for 3 sets of 10 seconds. So it's not super, super killer. Don't die on me now. All right. Time. We're doing good for time, folks. We're doing good for time. Okay. So your blocks, or you can do this on the ground if you would like. The idea is we're going to sit with our legs out front in an L. That's why we call it an L sit. Our hands are going to be pushed onto the ground. If I go a little bit lower, you can see what my hands are. Yeah, good. All right. Push my hands down. I'm going to focus on pushing back, opening my chest. I don't want to hold an L sit rounded over like this. That defeats the purpose because in our handstands we always want that nice straight back, right? My fingers are pointing, my index finger's pointing forwards, my thumbs are pointing slightly in, and my feet might stay on the ground. That is okay. We're just going to try and push up and hold. We're just going for 10 seconds, hit a break, another 10, another 10. All right, are we ready? And go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you have to come down early, that's okay. If your feet are on the ground, That's okay. Focus on that push out to lock your arms straight, and focus on that weight still coming through where your knuckles are on your hands. So have a little bit of a rest, shake it off, mentally prepare yourself because we're doing that again another 2 times. Are we ready? And go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Doing well. Trick to this is to keep breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Trick for everything is to keep breathing. A lot of things become a lot harder when you stop breathing. So we've only got 1 more set of these to go, folks. That is a wonderful exercise for a lot of things. This is also where you might want some height. If you do want to get the feeling of your feet coming off the ground, but you can't quite push off, maybe your arm ratio is not there, we don't quite have the compression yet, that's okay. This is where you can do it on a couple of chairs, on some stacks of books, up to you. Last set. And going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Alright. Don't get rid of your blocks or your books, whatever you've got just yet, because we're moving on to the next thing to play with. And now is where I want you to grab your Theraband, or your broom, or your stick, or whatever it is that you've got. The blocks are here to help you, because what's going to happen is we're going to be in a nice low squat. And you want your heels on something, because if, as you reach up, you start to tip too far backwards, you're going to want something on your heels, which could be a pair of blocks, just to help give you a little bit of weight forward. I'm not really worried about what's going on down here. We're going to have our broom, or our Theraband, or our scarf, or what have you. We're going to be keeping our chest upright, keeping our arms over our ears. And the goal for you is not to be out here. That doesn't translate that well to our handstand, does it? We're going to want to be here. We're going to open, so our shoulders are opening up, so everything's going to be in that nice line. And we're just going to hold it for 45 seconds. Let me get my timer up. Okie dokie. So get everything nice and ready. Chest stays open for this one. Just going to fold that in half, a little bit more resistance. And we're going for 45 seconds, starting now. So chest open, looking forward, straight arms. You get this beautiful little burn across the top of your shoulders pretty quick. But it's really good for chasing that strength in this open position. You're also pushing up. Don't just passively sit in this, your arm's pushing up. And you're halfway through. Another 15 seconds, folks. Doing pretty well. Doing pretty well, I have to say. And that's that. Right. For a very last bit of conditioning for today, some of you might have noticed I enjoy doing a lot of ab work. So we're going to finish with a little bit of ab work. And the best way I've ever seen to do abs, specifically for handstands, other than just training handstands, is dish rocks. So what's going to happen is we're just going to go for a minute dish rock on our back. So I want you to get ready, make sure you've got the space, make sure you've got the motivation, you've got some hardcore like power metal blast in the background, whatever's up to you, whatever's going to help you get through it. Getting ready, make sure you're not going to hit a wall, and going for a minute dish rock on the back, focusing on keeping everything tucked tight in, trying not to get away. And if you have to come out of the rock, I just want you to hold the dish. That's all. Starting now. Get your feet together, arms away from your ears. And have pointed toes, because why not, right? Nearly halfway. Keep breathing. Halfway, folks. 30 more seconds, it's nothing. You can so do this. Ten more seconds, pull it in, pull it in. That's it. That's your minute of dishes. That's more or less where we're going to stop on that sort of thing. So I just want to say, if you've enjoyed this, this was a brief introduction to tucks. There's a whole bunch more we can do. Worth beginning the smaller steps. The one on the wall, so lying down, similar to the alignment drills we did, as well as the pushes from your knees without necessarily jumping into it. Really good to train if you're not confident in your handstand yet. But also just do them on the wall. Do your handstands on the wall. 3 sets of 10 every day. Warm up your wrists. Look after your wrists a lot. And then come back and visit this video again. We'll have some more stuff coming out later. Drop us a like. That's always nice. And then we're going to do a little bit of our stretch down. Starting off with our wrists, of course. We use those a lot. So elbows facing forward, fingers pointing back towards you. Now I like to do a little bit of like a wiggle in this as well, so my shoulders sort of roll forward and back. Just changes where the stretch goes a lot of the time. Like I said earlier, it'd be really cool to see who's watching us and who's practicing. So if you can send us some videos, drop it on Instagram, throw it on the Circus Hub community page on the website. I want to see where you guys are at. If you've got any particular, if you're having trouble with a particular bit or particular exercise, drop me a line. I'm more than happy to let you know what's going on here as well, because this is a less interactive style of teaching, and sometimes your particular style of things is not this way of learning. So sometimes you might need someone to look at what you're doing, and I'm more than happy to help with that. I just need to know and see what's going on. We're going to do, this is a really good one because I know a lot of people are sitting in front of their desks at the moment. We did this last time. It's going to make 2 fists, put them together, and you're going to keep them together. You're going to keep the fist. I'm going to come on down and switch back so you can see. I'm going to put the backs of my hands on the ground, keep my fists in, and push up, trying to get my elbows straight. If my fingers start to come apart or the backs of my hands lift up, I've gone too far. It's a really good little like keyboard stretch if you're in front of a computer a lot, which I know a lot of people are right now. So it's good just to hang out and do. I also find it's very day dependent. Some days I'll be real low, some days I'll be dead flat. But always good. You can do a little bit of wobble here if you want. You don't have to. I enjoy it. I'm going to come up out of that one. One arm's going to come forward of us, like you're going to shake a hand and do your weird little wrist shake. Don't do that in real life, folks. That's weird. You're going to have one arm coming underneath, and the bottom arm's going to bend. Oh, no, don't crash. Oh, we're good. Okay. Sorry, folks, my computer is being unhelpful. It's going to bend up. Other hand's going to grab, so you're grabbing your top thumb. You're going to pull your shoulders down your back, your elbows up. So it's trying to get in front of your face. You get this beautiful little stretch across the back of your shoulder blades. It's really quite nice, especially after handstands, when you've got so much squeeze and stretch going on there anyway. And we're slowly going to open out. Then we can swap arms. So again, other arm comes out in front, other arm underneath and bends. Come up, grab your top thumb, shoulders pull down your back, away from your ears, while your elbows come up, trying to get in front of your nose. Just enjoy. Oh. It's a good little stretch, this one. Starting to open up. Okay. If you have a handy windowsill like I do, or you can get your chair back out again, up to you. We're just going to do a little bit more of a shoulder stretch. So we're going to place our elbows. Notice you're going to come back. You're trying to sink through the middle. So it's like you've got a real heavy head and chest. You're trying to sink down into it. And if you need more, you can go up onto your toes and take your knees off the ground, but that can be quite intense for some people. So just working at your discretion. I don't think that one's for me today. Trying to keep your hands on your shoulders. And then for a slightly different version, hands come up, but we're going to come up onto our feet, and we're going to sink through here. But for this one, you don't want to arch through here. You're trying to keep your spine nice and neutral. And this targets your lats specifically, which is quite nice. But it's still that heavy head. So you're not trying to arch into this, you're just pushing a straight body. So your shoulders are the hinge point. Alright. That's all from me today, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. Drop me a line, show us what you're working on, and there's another class happening tomorrow, I believe. I think we've got some more circus fit, so that'll be cool. We'll see you around. Hopefully see you then. That'd be awesome. Have a good week. Hope you had a good Easter.